If you are supplementing to make up for a bad diet or bad eating habits, you're wasting your money. There's no better supplement than just whole foods.
What are your thoughts on supplementation and when it's actually appropriate?
First and foremost, if you think that you can eat processed foods and then take some greens powders in the morning and it's going to work out, that's not how it works, right? Same thing with like B vitamins. So if you feel like you're drained all day long, you don't have any energy, no amount of B vitamins or caffeine or coffee is going to make up for testosterone, for optimized testosterone levels, right? So you need to figure out what is your problem, what is the root cause. But I'm a huge proponent in optimizing your testosterone levels first, optimizing your sleep first before spending money on supplements. I think there's space for supplements. There's space for supplements no matter where you're at, whether it's if you're in the wellness side of things and you're looking to get a little bit of edge in the gym, or if you are trying to fill gaps with medications. So for example, GLP-1s, they're great. They're fantastic medications, but they come with their side effects, right? So they can mess up your GI tract. They can slow down gastric emptying, cause constipation, diarrhea, things like that. So rather than throw on another medication to fix that, we wanted to throw on a simple supplement to fix that, right? To fill those gaps. And so there's space for supplements for everyone, but I think you need to have a baseline knowledge of what you're getting into and not just, like you said, buy into the propaganda of supplements, because so much of supplements is advertising.
Today on the Generational Health Podcast, I had the opportunity to interview Joey Elkins, a pharmacist at Strive Pharmacy. We had a really great conversation about supplements. I think you'll really enjoy this episode. We talked about a lot of the popular supplements out there, red flags you should look out for, protein, creatine, all the other gut health supplements that people are talking about. So tune in if you want to learn a little bit more about those. And as always, I want to thank our lead sponsor, Hiva Health. You can find them at www.hivahealth.com. They offer many treatments from dermatology to hormone replacement, sexual health. There's a whole bunch of different things you can find there. Give them a look. But hopefully you enjoy this episode. Joey Elkins, pharmacist extraordinaire at Strive Pharmacy. Thanks for coming in, Dad.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the invite. I've been looking forward to this for a long time now.
Yeah. No, well, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I have reached out to you in the past for multiple just questions about supplements and some over-the-counter stuff, and then getting into more pharmaceutical stuff. You just know a lot about a lot. So I thought it'd be really cool to have you in here and we could talk through some of the cool stuff you've been doing at Strive. I know y'all have been working on new supplement line. They've had supplements for a long time.
Yeah,
they've had, like multivitamins and stuff, but you guys have spent a lot of time researching, all sorts of supplements for lots of different things, and you got a lot of cool stuff coming. So felt like it was a good time to just sit and talk through it and maybe talk through, your routine and the things people can look out for when they're looking at getting supplements. It's a very hot topic. There's lots of people that are looking for, like quick wins, whether it's in the gym or sleep or gut health or all these things, where just the supplement industry is it's gotten kind of out of control a little bit. And there's a lot of crappy stuff out there and there's a lot of good stuff. And so just, I don't know, there's so much to talk about here. So we'll just dive into it. But first, would love to learn a little bit about you. If you wouldn't mind telling us, what inspired you to become a pharmacist? Like, why did you go to pharmacy school? And what do you love most about being in this space?
Awesome. Yeah, let's dive in. So what got me into pharmacy school is kind of a funny story, kind of a full circle moment that we'll get to. So growing up, I always wanted to do something related to the body. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was dental school or pharmacy school or medical school or physical therapy school, whatever it was. I wanted to do something related to the body. So through college, I decided just to get my bachelor's in exercise science, kinesiology, and then just cover the prereqs for all the schools, just so then I could decide. So while I was in college, I was a dental assistant, I was a chiropractic assistant, a physical therapy assistant, a personal trainer. So just different things where I was just kind of filling it out and see what I liked. Ultimately, I decided to go to dental school. I decided dental school was the route for me. I love my job as a dental assistant. I worked with my cousin. He seemed to have a good work-life balance, made good money. So I was like, I'm going to go for dental school. I didn't love teeth. I didn't love dentistry, but it seemed like a good career. So I started applying to dental schools. First year, I didn't get into any dental schools. So I retook the DAT, the admissions test. improved my scores, retook some classes, applied again a second year, and again got rejected to all the dental schools. And then Midwestern, the school out in Glendale, so they rejected me. And then I received an email from their pharmacy school, and it said, hey, we came across your dental school application. Would you like to come apply for pharmacy school? Pharmacy never crossed my mind. I never considered pharmacy school. So I said, sure, I'll come in for an interview and see what it's like. And so I went in for an interview, and they accepted me on the spot. And then, so I really had a choice to make at that point, what I was going to do. And I was at a point in my life where I just had my first kid. I've been denied 2 years in a row of dental school, and I was ready to get going on my career. And I never considered pharmacy school. The only thing I liked about it was, in fact, supplements. I was always around fitness, supplements my whole life. So I liked the fact that when you take a supplement, it does something to your body, right? So I figured, same thing with medications. You take a medication, it does something to your body. So that can kind of pique my interest in pharmacy school. So again, it was all around supplements. Like when you take this pre-workout, why does my face get itchy? Or when you take this pre-workout, why do I have to run to the bathroom? Or, different things. When you take a supplement, it does something to your body. So I was like, I'm just going to go for pharmacy school and see where it takes me and see what happens. So I did. I went to pharmacy school. I went to Midwestern, Glendale, up in Glendale, Arizona. And through pharmacy school, there's kind of two paths. There's either retail pharmacy or there's hospital pharmacy. Those are kind of your two choices. There's a lot more out there, but you don't really learn about that until you're out in the real world. And I knew I was not going retail. I couldn't do retail. I couldn't do CVS, Walmart, things like that. So I said, okay, I guess I'm going to go hospital. Hospital is going to be my way to go. And then my last year of school, you do different rotations at different places. And my last year, I had a friend who was friends with Nate, and he called his friend and he said, hey, can my buddy come do a rotation at Strive and see what it's like? And so I came to Strive as an intern, just for an internship, just for a couple days a week. And it was a whole new world, opened my eyes to a whole new world. Like I said, I never thought I would be working with hormones and peptides. You don't learn about that in pharmacy school. You just don't. You cover GLP-1s maybe for a second in diabetes lectures, but you don't learn about hormones. You don't learn about peptides. Okay, so I got out of pharmacy school, fresh out of school. I did this internship, and I found something I loved. And luckily, they were growing like crazy, and they needed help. And so Mike, he decided to take a chance on me. Usually they hired on veteran pharmacists, like who've been in retail for a while, and they know the rules, they know the ins and outs of pharmacy. But he saw something in me, decided to take a chance on a young student, and I got in with Strive, and Nice. It's been a dream come true.
That's cool. So looking back, like with wanting to be a dentist, you look at things now and you're like, man, I'm happy that this is how it worked out.
I am. I couldn't be more grateful for the position I'm in. Now, I found this niche of pharmacy is a very small niche. I would say 90% of my classmates are in retail, in hospital. They're doing something like that, which is great for them. If that's what they want to do, that's great. That wasn't for me. That just wasn't for me. So this fell into the perfect position I could as a pharmacist. And now, kind of full circle moment, what got me into pharmacy school was the interest in supplements. And what I'm doing now is creating our supplement line for Strive, a pharmacist formulated supplement line. So
that's pretty cool, man. That's tough though. I mean, you get rejected from dental school, and you think, man, like that's what I want to do. Why isn't this happening? You probably had great scores. You probably had all the things, but it just wasn't working out. I actually read a quote today that said, sometimes God has to tear you down to preserve you.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, sometimes our paths kind of shift around a little bit. We don't know why, but happy you're here, and you're awesome. It's been fun to talk to you and learn from you. So I'd love to dive right into learning a little bit more about what you know about supplementation. I know this is, like I said earlier, pretty hot topic. In the fitness industry, it's very big. So we could probably dive into just the various different types of supplementation. I think maybe in fitness and then there's the wellness space, but in fitness, you have all the performance-based supplements that tend to be pretty popular. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yes. And I think there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's a lot of crap out there, a lot of marketing that goes around all this stuff. So I would love to just kind of dive into the stuff that you really should be looking for and why and when it makes sense to supplement. So
Yeah.
like, what are your thoughts on supplementation and when it's actually appropriate?
Yeah, that's great. So first and foremost, if you are supplementing to make up for a bad diet or bad eating habits, you're wasting your money, right? There's no better supplement than just whole foods. And you can't beat that. So if you're supplementing, so if you think that you can eat processed foods and then take some greens powders in the morning and it's going to work out, that's not how it works, right? Same thing with like B vitamins. So if you feel like you're drained all day long, you don't have any energy, so you read up on B vitamins and you think, oh, I must be deficient in B vitamins because my energy is so bad. No amount of B vitamins or caffeine or coffee is going to make up for testosterone, for optimized testosterone levels, right? So you need to figure out what is your problem, what is the root cause. But I'm a huge proponent in optimizing your testosterone levels first, optimizing your sleep first before spending money on supplements, wasting money on supplements. But that's a whole nother topic in itself, is the hormone side of things. But I think there's space for supplements. There's space for supplements no matter where you're at. Whether it's if you're in the wellness side of things and you're looking to get a little bit of edge in the gym, or if you are trying to fill gaps with medications, which was a big reason why we started this supplement line with Strive. We have so many patients on GLP-1s, we have so many patients on hormones, and rather than tacking on other medications to fix the side effects of those problems, we want to throw on supplements to fix those side effects. So for example, GLP-1s, they're great. They're fantastic medications, but they come with their side effects, right? So they can mess up your GI tract. They can slow down gastric emptying, cause constipation, diarrhea, things like that. So rather than throw on another medication to fix that, we wanted to throw on a simple supplement to fix that, right? To fill those gaps. So you could do just a magnesium or something, or some ginger extract, just to keep the peristalsis, keep the gut moving a little bit. And so there's space for supplements for everyone, but I think you need to have a baseline knowledge of what you're getting into, and not just, like you said, buy into the propaganda of supplements, because so much of supplements is advertising. It's especially GLP-1 supplements. If you Google GLP-1 supplements, you're going to get 100 different companies saying that this supplement will boost your GLP-1 levels and things like that. So I love supplements. I think there's definitely a space for supplements in the wellness side of things and the medical side of things. But you definitely need to know what you're getting into.
I think you brought up a good point. Like when you said you can't out supplement like a crappy diet or like lack of dedication in the gym. You know, I think just sleep, exercise, nutrition, that all comes way first, right?
Absolutely.
Supplementation is really to fill the gaps when you've done all the other stuff that you can do. Some people are born with some people have, we do labs all the time, right? Some people have nutritional deficiencies, so it can help kind of clear some of those gaps.
For sure.
Some people might be on medications that mess up their the microbiome in their stomach or whatever else it might be. And so there's great natural supplements to help kind of smooth that out and regulate that. And then you've got people that are super dedicated to exercise and fitness, and they dip into their stores a lot more than other people do. And they might need that extra little bit to ensure that they're getting the hypertrophy or the recovery or all that kind of stuff. So it's really there. Supplements are, at least in my opinion, are really there after you've done all the other stuff that you need to do.
Yeah. If you're dialed in through hormones, you're dialed in with your diet, then supplements can take you to the next level, I think.
But it feels like the marketing is opposite. It makes you feel, I think I bet most people that buy supplements probably buy them thinking that if I buy this and take this, then my hormones will be great. I'm going to get a boost in testosterone. My strength is going to go up in the gym. But they're actually not putting in all that work beforehand, right?
Exactly.
And so I think most people that buy them are hoping it's going to be a quick fix to something.
A Band-Aid. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I completely agree. It's you got to understand what you're getting. You got to put in the work. Supplements are great, but you got to put in the work first. You got to figure out what you're deficient in. You got to figure out your hormone levels. You got to figure out other things first before supplements can even play any role in your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's just really expensive pee.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just processing. It's not really doing much. Okay, cool. So I'm just curious, are there people that are out there looking for certain supplements, are there certain things they should look out for? I know you go to Amazon, there's billion different supplements out there. There's a lot of marketing. So if we're looking for high quality supplements, what are some of the things that you've noticed as putting these together that you're like, okay, we need to make sure that this is this type of, maybe B12 or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. What are some of those things that people should be looking out for in a high quality supplement?
First, you can look at prices, right? If you're looking for the cheapest supplement, it's going to be a cheap supplement most likely. So first, look at prices. Fine. I mean, some companies will focus on one supplement and they can make it a really good deal and good price, so that's fine. But first, don't always go for the cheapest supplement off the bat. Second, look for third-party testing. So just like with our pharmacy, we can third-party test our medications. Supplements also get third-party tested. So if you find a legitimate supplement company, a lot of times on the label, they'll say that they are third-party tested through NSF or whoever it is. That's huge. That costs a lot of money. So again, come back to the price thing. If they're third-party tested, it's probably going to be a little bit more expensive supplement. But that gives you a surety that what you're getting is what you're getting. You're getting the actual supplement, because you could put anything into a pill and sell it, right? That's something I've learned a lot with creating the supplement line right now is I can pull a number of different ingredients sources from different companies, from different API companies all over the world. But it's a matter of choosing one that has a legitimate COA, a certificate of analysis, choosing one that they third-party test themselves as well. So we can pull legitimate high quality ingredients to start this. And then we ourselves, once we have it done, we'll again get it third-party tested to make sure it's what it should be in there. So look for third-party testing. Look out for proprietary blends. So a lot of supplements on the facts label, the back, it'll say proprietary blends. Some companies do that to protect their product, right? To protect their formula, which is fine if that's the reason they're doing it. But a lot of them will do it so they don't have to truly tell you the amount of what's in there. So for example, you could find one that they say they have NAD in it. Okay. They'll have to put that NAD is in it in the proprietary blend, but they don't have to put how much NAD is in it. Mm-hmm. So watch out for proprietary blends. Again, if it's a trusted company, you should be fine. But if it's a company you don't really know about and they have a proprietary blend, they're probably trying to hide something in that mixture. But I'd say those are the biggest things is third-party testing, proprietary blends, and just supplement companies will have usually a good reputation, right? You look for a reputation. If they're new and upcoming, that's great. There's also apps these days. I'm trying to get on these apps with our company where you just scan the barcode and it shows like a score or rating. Mm-hmm. One's called like Supco, I think. And that's what they do. They're just designed to scan. It'll show you like where these ingredients are pulled from. It'll show you if they're third-party tested, and it can show you if they're a legitimate supplement or not.
So when we launched Hiva Health about a year ago is when we launched. We started working on it a year and a half ago or so. Still fairly new, obviously, but it was kind of funny because we have, in my opinion, obviously I'm biased, super great branding, you know, like it looks good. Website looks awesome. The branding's amazing. Our brand team, shout out to those guys.
I agree. I love my Hiva hat.
It looks good. Yeah. Right. We had I don't know where they're from, but a imitation company pop up and literally like try to copy our brand, slap it on a website, and they're selling a herpes supplement, and they claim they cured herpes, which doesn't exist. And the only reason I know about this is because I started getting emails from people saying, "Hey, I sent you $1,500, like expensive stuff. I haven't gotten any receipts. I don't know what's going on." Like, or I get emails from people that say, "Did you guys really find a cure for herpes?" And I'm like, what is going on? Like, where is this coming from? And so we looked them up. Sure enough, like you get on there and it's like, the brand looks very similar to ours. The website looks crappy, but the brand name looks similar. And there's people paying crazy big money for this stuff, and they're just being scammed. And that's like one example of tons. I think so many of these supplements out there are highly questionable. Mm-hmm. You don't even know for sure if what you're buying is in there, so the third-party testing, making sure you know the source of where it's coming from, looking out for those red flags, I think is huge. Otherwise, you're just spending money on crap. So
no, yeah, I agree. And in fact, when we were creating this line, we had the discussion with Nate and Mike if we wanted to make it a separate name from Strive. But it just came down to Strive has a reputation, and we want to maintain that reputation. So with our high quality medications, we just want to bring high quality supplements. So we decided to bring that name on board just to bring the reputation along with it. So, but I'm sure you've seen videos of like even ordering high high end brands off of Amazon could still not be what you're thinking it is.
Yeah.
So be careful where you're purchasing them from, for sure.
Yeah. So the other one, the big supplement that I think a lot of people get is protein, right? So like protein powders are a source of a lot of back and forth on quality. Is there anything there that like certain things that you find in like a good whey protein, or I guess let's say a questionable whey protein, that would be a red flag for you?
Look for additives. Yeah. So a lot of different companies will add different additives into the protein mixture. And a lot of times it doesn't have anything to do with the nutrition value. It has to do with when it's going down the line and getting packaged. So they can add on different things to help it go more smoothly down the line. So look for additional additives, look for different things like that. But again, it's going to come down to brand name, reputable brands. Anyone can make a protein powder. Anyone can throw that into a bag and try to sell it. Because again, it's going to come down to advertising. Advertising is huge with supplements. So look for additional additives that you don't think should be in there. If you can't read the ingredients on the back of it, there's probably something wrong, right? Figure out what those are. That's usually the main thing, is additives.
So proteins. One thing I'm kind of excited about, and I've seen some other brands do this, Clean Simple Eats is one that I think they've just done such a good job, but like kind of the clear protein approach, which is whey protein, grass-fed, but it's not like a milky, like chocolate or vanilla or like the traditional ones that we're used to.
It's fruity.
So they're fruity. So what's the difference between those in terms of like how you make those and manufacture those? What makes those different? So
we have one coming out actually. So I've done a lot of research into this, in these whey protein isolates, clear whey protein isolates. So basically you take the whey protein just like you would any other source from cow milk, is what it comes from. Then you're going to just do ultra filterization. You're just going to filter it as fine as you can. And then at that point, you're then going to, that creates you the whey protein isolate. So if you stop there, you have a whey protein isolate. Now to get the clear whey protein isolate, they do acidification. They add citric acid to it, which makes it a transparent molecule. So it can be mixed in water so much easier now. You can throw fruity flavors on it. So instead of getting like a chocolate or a vanilla, like the standard flavors, you can do watermelon, you can do grape, you can do anything, and it tastes amazing. It's so light on the stomach. Whey protein has a tendency to be pretty heavy on the stomach, cause a lot of stomach issues. But clear whey protein doesn't. It's absorbed very well. So that's the big craze right now, is clear whey protein. And I'll tell you, it's difficult to come across right now. It's a very hot commodity. We secured a large stash of it to come out with our line, but it's tough to come across. Yeah.
That's exciting. So I'd love to know maybe your thoughts on a couple different types of proteins. Maybe just run through like the ones that you think are good and the ones you think maybe don't have a good amino acid profile.
For sure.
And if you'd recommend people get them or not. So whey protein would be my first one.
So first and foremost, it's going to go to two lanes. It's going to go animal protein or plant protein. That's where it splits. So if we lean towards animal protein, we're going to go with whey protein, just a fast absorbing protein, most common protein. If you go get protein off a shelf, 90% chance it's going to be whey protein.
And why is that?
It's just cheap. It's a cheap protein to get. So they can make it very easily.
Okay. But why is it also like the most... Like would you say that's the most important one?
It's pushed as your post-workout shake because it's absorbed immediately. So it's an important one. I mean, I'm going to stress again, there's always a good, better, best with protein. I'm going to stress, if you're getting your protein from eggs and then chicken and then steak, that's great. That's best, right? But if you need to add a few more grams of protein, then this is the best one to throw on post-workout or whatever. It's just a good quality protein. It's cheap, it's relatively inexpensive to make, and it works great. It does its job, right? Again, that's going to come from milk, from cow milk. Same thing with casein protein. You've heard of casein protein, another animal protein. It's a slow absorbing protein. So a lot of times you would take your whey protein right after a workout, and then you take your casein protein before bed because it's slow digesting. So you'd sleep and build on it. Both are great options. Both, again, can be hard on the stomach for some people. They can be heavy. And then you can keep going down the animal route, and you can go with like egg white protein. Egg white protein is fantastic. Animal route's great because it has the perfect amino acid profile. It has all the amino acids you need. Most of them do. Plants, some do, some don't. But so if we're still going to go down the animal route, we can go egg white protein. That's a fantastic option. That's just the whole amino acid profile. A little more expensive, but it's worth it for your money. And then you can get into collagen peptides, collagen proteins. Another good option. The collagen proteins usually don't have the full amino acid profile. I learned this lesson as we were making one of our meal replacement shakes. So I wanted to find the best protein, the best high quality protein. And that was collagen protein, right? That was the way to go because it was so easy on the stomach. So I was designing this around GLP-1 patients. So I didn't want to add any more stomach discomfort to these patients because they already have those issues. So I decided that hydrolyzed collagen protein was the way to go. Then I discovered that it's not a full amino acid profile. So I was going to give them a high quality protein. The whole idea was so they can maintain their muscle mass, but this protein doesn't have the amino acids to keep building muscle. So instead of doing 20 grams of the hydrolyzed collagen protein, I cut it to 12 grams of collagen protein and then threw in 8 grams of a pumpkin seed, flaxseed mixed protein. So now I have that full amino acid profile.
Smart.
So that's the animal route. Again, we got whey, casein, egg whites, and then we get into the collagen side of things. If we go the plant route, we can do a number of different things with plants. We have hemp seed, we have soy, we have rice, we have a number of pumpkin seed I mentioned, flaxseed, chia seed. Those are all great proteins. Some of them are full amino profiles, some of them aren't. So make sure you check that. The good thing with plants is they will always come with fiber attached to them. So you'll get protein, you'll get fiber. So that's great. Another good thing with plants versus animal is plants will have a lower cholesterol and a lower saturated fat profile with them. So both are great options. Both are fantastic. You're getting in your protein both either way. But you want to find one that has a full amino acid profile. There's 9 amino acids that your body can't get, and you need to find a protein that you can get that from.
So collagen is really interesting. I know there's been a lot of debate of whether or not it's a waste or not because it doesn't have the full, amino acid profile, but collagen is, I believe, the most abundant protein in our bodies. And, all of our hair, skin, nails, dependent on it, we shed about 1% of collagen per year after we're 20 years old, like when we're young. Really? So we lose a lot of it. So I was actually listening to another podcast earlier this week, and they were talking about this, and they said, the data is a little mixed and skewed on like whether or not if I take collagen protein, it's going to give me better hair, skin, nails, all that kind of stuff. But experts have mostly erred on the side of saying that all of their medical training and understanding of biology points to the fact that there's no reason why it wouldn't, because our body has so much of it and needs so much of it that it might not have the full amino acid makeup to help you with hypertrophy and building big muscles, but it's for all the other stuff. Exactly. It's the tissue. It's the it's your hair, it's your skin, it's your joints. So it kind of is one of those really interesting proteins that I think a lot of people, I don't know that it should replace whey protein. I know whey can be tough on the stomach. That's why I love the clear protein aspect, because I think it gives some other people hope that struggle with digesting whey, that they might be okay on the clear protein. But collagen is kind of an interesting one that I think most people should probably, especially if you're in your 30s, 40s and plus, and it's, you don't take a lot of it, but just throw a little bit in your other shakes or whatever it is you're having. It's super easy to digest. And I think it helps with a lot of things outside of muscle mass. I
agree. Yeah. I love the profile of collagen. Just like you mentioned, it can help with your joints. It can help with your tendons. It can help you just maintain a healthy lifestyle other than just your muscles. Yeah. But it's a little bit more expensive protein. So when you're looking into that, it's going to be a little higher price point. But it has huge benefits.
I just think the point with it is that I think there's a lot of people that are trying to get fit and they're trying to their post workouts and all that, where they use collagen post workout because it's the only protein for them that doesn't really upset their stomach. But I think the thing there is no, it actually probably isn't the best post workout protein. Agreed. It's for other things that are also really important. But if you're working out and you want a good post workout protein, if you can't handle whey protein powders, you probably need to find a natural source of protein to eat after you work out rather than relying on collagen. So hopefully that doesn't discourage anybody, but I just don't know that it's the best post workout. I don't know that it would be bad to take it after, but I just don't think you can expect the same results as having whey protein.
There's always a good, better, best, but I agree.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So another And you mentioned casein as well. I think a lot of people bypass that. That one's much harder to digest.
Yes.
But if you can digest it, I think having it before bed is awesome because it keeps your body in almost a fat burning state through the night because you have to digest it. So there's the caloric energy burn just from digesting that food. But because it takes so much longer to digest, it keeps your body from going into starvation mode while you're sleeping. Yeah. So it keeps your metabolism running for a lot of people. And it definitely makes it so that you don't start dipping into muscle stores. And so if you're trying to build muscle, it's a good one to protect your muscle at night. For
a lot of people, it also helps balance their blood sugars out through the night. So if they have issues with blood sugar, a slow digesting protein will help balance that out through the night. So
if you have a high carb dinner.
Yep.
Okay. So what about creatine? That's another one. It's been a lot of people are starting to talk about it. One thing that's kind of cool, a lot of women are starting to talk about it because I feel like creatine in the past has been all about, muscle and gym performance, trying to get bigger muscles and makes you look fuller and it boosts your muscles full of water. And so a lot of women have avoided it for those reasons, but it seems that research has been coming out and you have a lot of like influential people that have started to talk about how important it is in women, maybe even more so in women than men, because like, I'll let you speak to this, but naturally, like where can you, because our bodies don't make it, right? Like we have to consume it. Yeah. So what sources of food actually contain the highest levels of creatine? Yeah.
So actually interesting. Your body actually does make about 1 gram of creatine a day through your liver, through your pancreas.
It automatically makes that?
A tiny bit. Okay. Yeah. So, but the majority of our creatine is coming from red meats, from fish. That's where you're going to get it. But to get the amount that's beneficial for you, you're going to have to eat a lot of red meat and a lot of fish. So that's why supplementing creatine has become so popular. There used to be a huge stigma around creatine, right? And I think that's getting much better nowadays with all these studies coming out, like you mentioned. I love creatine. I think everyone from teenagers to elderly should be on creatine just for the benefits. And I'm not talking about muscle benefits. I'm talking about energy benefits, cognitive benefits. There's so many different benefits with creatine. I think everyone should be on it. Unless you have some kind of kidney issues, then yes, you should use caution with it. But if you break it down, all it is 3 amino acids. It's arginine, it's glycine, it's methionine. It's 3 amino acids. So it's just a very simple molecule with huge benefits.
So what's it actually doing in our system? Like what is the benefit you're getting from creatine?
So it's working in your muscles. It's helping you, as you heard, it retains water in your muscles. So it helps you store glycine in your muscles a little bit better. So that can have a number of different benefits. A lot of people think when they take creatine, it makes them stronger. It makes them like immediately stronger. That's not necessarily how it works. It works by, it can help you do more reps. So if you're benching, it can help you bench a few more reps. And that in turn will make you stronger, right? Repetition after time, you'll get stronger. But it just helps give your muscles the fuel that it needs without them getting drained throughout your workworkouts through the day.
Yeah. So my understanding is that it basically helps shorten the exhaustion period, exactly. Right? So that you can just do more. Mm-hmm. And the reason I said I think this has become more important for women is because if you look at where you can actually get creatine from our diets, red meat, who's eating more red meat, men or women, right? And guys just tend to eat more red meat. And so I think there's a dietary issue with women consuming enough to get the creatine that they need. Absolutely. That then filters in both to their muscles and working out and stuff like that. But even more so, the cognitive benefits of creatine. And when I was like studying into this a bit, the same effects that it has in your muscles to shorten the recovery time, it has in your brain too, from a neurological standpoint. And so in one of our supplements in our cognitive complex, we have creatine hydrochloride, HCl, which it's not monohydrate, but it's part of that because, and I truly believe in this product so much, because I'll take it usually in the afternoon, because I don't know, as I've gotten older too, we can do all these things to like balance hormones and that helps with energy and stuff. But when you're doing lots and lots of stuff, you get up, you got kids, you get them up to school, and then you got work, and by 2:00 in the afternoon, my brain is just fried. You hear like my brain's fried. Yeah. You hear that all the time. Well, it's true. It happens. You kind of get that brain fatigue 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like, I couldn't sit down and write a letter or write a note or whatever. And I got, well, I'm telling you, I think creatine and other supplements that can go with it, like lion's mane and some other things, are ways that shorten that recovery time on your brain. And it's weird because if I take a supplement like that in the afternoon, I have to remind myself to go home from work because I get busy doing stuff, and I'm like, I'm not getting that mental exhaustion. Cool. So it's almost like that's the same concept in the gym. Like you can work out harder, longer. Well, same thing for your brain too. And that's why I think there are some of these really cool cognitive studies that have come out to show its effect on the brain, potential reduction in dementia, and some of these other longer term, illnesses that hit people specifically with memory, short memory recall. Creatine has been shown to be really effective in people that are underslept. So if you didn't sleep enough the night before and you still have to have a normal day the next day, it actually helps you a little bit. Not saying that you should do that, to like offset crappy sleep. You should focus on your sleep first by far. But we all have a night where one of our kids, Mom, I had a bad dream. Then they're in your bed and they're kicking you all night. And you're just like, I didn't sleep at all. Creatine can help you have like a normal day the next day.
And to tie that back into the women's side of things, like you said, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're sleep deprived and you've been dealing with 2 kids all day long, brain fog is going to be through the roof, right? Mm-hmm. So creatine, that's why creatine can be so beneficial for women, for men, for elderly people. That's a big thing for elderly people. There's so many benefits with creatine, and I love how it's getting away from just muscle benefits. Like all the studies on the brain are getting tied in. There used to be so much. It was always scared that you take creatine, it could mess with your kidneys, right? Mm-hmm. There was studies done. There's a number of different studies I was reading that it took patients who had kidney issues, who had kidney problems, and they added creatine, and their kidney problems got worse. That happened. But then also it took the different population of healthy individuals with healthy kidneys, and not a single one had a decline in kidney function with creatine. So it's a very safe supplement. So if you have kidney issues, then yes, talk to your doctor about it. Be cautious with it. But other than that, it's a very safe subject for across the board, populations across the board. And the benefits outweigh the risks far none.
Well, it's one of the most, I think, if not the most studied
by far.
Because there's a lot of supplements that are just, these statements have not been approved by the FDA and there's no studies behind it. Well, this one's actually been studied a lot. So, and
I should have brought that in the beginning when you asked about trusting supplements. I should have brought that up. That the studies on supplements is much different than studies on medications, right? Medication studies, they're very strict. They're ran by the FDA, things like that. Supplement studies are different. It's tough to prove that a supplement works. Like if that's the thing that's causing the change in the body or whatever. But there are studies out there. So you can do your own research. You can find studies on supplements to help you, make correct choices and steer your choices to what supplements to take.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that's a big thing. I mean, the fact that so many of these have not even been researched or studied, that's why you're going to have a lot of varying opinions on which ones are like absolutely essential and which ones are like, we don't really know for sure if it's helping you or not. Yeah. So it could be an expensive decision to make that's not really doing much for you. For sure. Again, why you should focus on maybe more lifestyle first, and then supplementation. But when supplementation does make sense, there's a number of different supplements that you all are coming out with and that we offer as well. But I'd love to know, like, what are some of the main things that are in these supplements that help with certain things? So like, for instance, you mentioned a GLP-1 support. Yeah. There's a ton of people on GLP-1 medications right now with potential gastric issues and other potential gut issues. What type of supplement, what ingredients are going to be in your GLP-1 gut health supplement?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the gut. Everything comes back to the gut. With GLP-1s, inflammation, everything comes back to the hormones. It comes back to the gut. So I have a great product coming. We have a fantastic product coming out that it's just 3 simple ingredients. All it is glutamine. Glutamine is great for gut repair. Akkermansia, if you've heard of Akkermansia, it's a very popular postbiotic, prebiotic coming out. And then baobab fruit powder, which is just a kind of a fiber powder. The whole idea behind that, so it's kind of pushed as a GLP-1 creator, like helps your body naturally produce GLP-1. But what it's actually doing, the baseline of what it's doing is repairing your gut. If you have a gut that's working properly, your body's going to naturally produce GLP-1 as it should. If you have a gut that's working properly, that the tight gap junctions, then you're not going to have as bad of an issue with chronic inflammation, right? A lot of it ties back to inflammation through the gut. So that's how Akkermansia works. What it does is it eats on the mucin in the gut, just the lining of the gut, which causes the body to make more of it and build stronger bonds. So that's what it's doing. It's just making stronger bonds in the gut so you can help prevent leaky gut syndrome, things like that. But that's just a very simple product we have coming out. It's just 3 ingredients. They're proven ingredients. There's a lot of studies behind them that their whole goal is to repair the gut. It's to repair the gut, and you can repair everything else in your body.
What does glutamine do in the gut?
It's a lot with the gap junctions. So same idea. It's going to help the gut's connected through different junctions like this, if you can see this, but the glutamine will come in there and just kind of fill those gap junctions and help the body repair itself naturally. So another simple amino acid. A lot of times it's going to come down to amino acids. Amino acids play a huge role. We talked about amino acid profile and protein. We talked about creatine being 3 amino acids. And again, L-glutamine is just another amino acid. So those are huge supplements that play big roles in the body.
Yeah, and the gut's really interesting because everything starts there.
Yes.
I mean, you look at like BPC 157 is also hot, and but really what it's doing is that body protection compound. It's all in the gut, right? And the gut's an interesting topic. My understanding is that I believe the gut lining turns like every 2 to 3 days. It's very quick. It doesn't take a long time for your gut to like turn over in terms of like all the cellular turnover that's going on in there. But it could take, depending on how much damage you have, if you have leaky gut, if you've really, there's just tons of inflammation in there, you haven't been eating very well, lots of processed foods, lots of acidic foods, lots of carbonation and fake this or whatever, you can just destroy that gut lining. Now, the body's awesome and it can repair itself pretty quick, but it also might take a while to heal the whole gut lining. Even though it can repair itself fast, you might have to take something like this for some time and eat super clean to repair the gut enough to be able to then repair all the other tissues and problems you have. And I mean, people that have chronic back pain and knee pain and all, they keep going to the doctor and trying to get cortisone injections here, there. It's you might even just want to start with the gut.
Exactly.
Just start there.
It's all tied into the gut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I fix your gut and you fix everything else. You fix inflammation, you fix your hormones work better, your insulin sensitivity works better. It's all tied back into the gut. So spend a lot of time. If you're going to spend money on supplements, spend money on fixing your gut and repairing your gut.
And with other gut supplements, what are this word enzymes? What are digestive enzymes?
I love enzymes. That's a popular product. So a lot of people will have some kind of digestive discomfort when they eat certain foods, right? So if you're lactose intolerant, you're going to know you're lactose intolerant when you drink milk or eat ice cream or whatever. So usually you're lacking the lactase enzyme. So there's different enzymes. Enzymes break down the macronutrients. So you have proteins, carbs, fats. So if I have lactose that comes in milk, a lactase enzyme is going to break that down. If I have carbohydrate, amylase is the enzyme that's going to break that down. There's more for carbohydrates. Proteins, protease is going to come break down proteins. So digestive enzymes, that's one of the most effective. That's one of the most supplements. It takes time, right? It takes a lot of time to feel the effects or see the effects, months even. So if you have a vitamin D deficiency and you start supplementing with vitamin D, it's going to be about 2 months until you see that get restored. Digestive enzymes, they work immediately. They do their job. That's what they're supposed to do. So if you have digestive discomfort when you're eating certain foods, take a digestive enzyme and more than likely it's going to help you. It's going to fix that problem. So there's probably some deficiency in your body. You're not making enough lactase. You're not making enough amylase or whatever it is. And you can just supplement that and get that fixed real quick.
Are these enzymes things that kids can take? Are there kids enzymes?
They can. Yeah, there's a lot of kids enzymes. So figure out what the problem is though, because a lot of times it could be some kind of allergy. It could be something else going on. But yeah, enzymes are generally pretty safe across the board.
Okay. Yeah. I was listening to someone else talk about this, and there's a company, I can't remember the name of the company, but they most of their stuff is based on enzymes, and they do mega enzymes. They're big on fasting and then taking a super high dose of enzymes during their fasting period.
Interesting.
And they had this whole thing about it, and I'm digging into that a little bit, but I did think it was interesting. The whole enzyme thing is a little bit foreign to me, so I'm trying to do some research.
Again, that's going to come down to the gut. That's going to help repair the gut. It's going to decrease inflammation in the gut, and everything's going to work a little bit better.
So as far as there's a couple things I think we could just hit on, some main supplements that that are out there that people are starting to hear a little bit more about? I mean, you've got kind of your core ones, magnesium. There's lots of different types of magnesium, some for sleep, some that can help with bowel movements, some that help with cognition and other things. Like there's all the different magnesium types. And you've got vitamin D, you brought that up. Generally, most people are deficient in vitamin D. A lot of women are deficient in vitamin D. So definitely one, especially if you get your labs done, you can find that out pretty easily. Find out if that's one you should be taking. But a couple that are, and omegas. I think omegas are another one that help with like hormone regulation. It helps with cognition. That's also in our cognition supplement as well. How important that is just for like your brain. But these new ones that I'm starting to hear more about, you hear it on, Gary Breck is talking about them. Other people are talking about them. I was at A4M and I was listening to one of these speakers get up and talk about urolithin A.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about what that is and what are some of the promising things behind that?
Yeah. Urolithin A is also actually pulled from the gut. Again, we're going back to the gut, but yeah, it's what it is it's going to go in, how it works mechanistically is it's going to go into the cells and it's going to find damaged mitochondria and eat them up. Okay, so then your body will repair, or your body will make new mitochondria, make better cells. So that's how it works. It's called mitophagy. So mitochondria, it's going to eat up the damaged mitochondria. Urolithin A, it's awesome. It's one of the most studied supplements out there. It's really new, but it has a lot of studies behind it, a lot of promising studies behind it. So that's how it works. It's going to go in and eat those the damaged mitochondria up, so your body will regenerate and make new ones and have healthy cells going forward. So a lot of them are going to work with the mitochondria in the cells, and urolithin A is one of those examples. But then you can get into like the NRs and the NMNs. Same idea with those things. Those are precursors to NAD. So if you've heard about NAD, it's a coenzyme, and what it does is it helps the body produce ATP better. So your body naturally has NAD, it naturally produces NAD, but as you get older with stressors and different things, your amount of NAD declines. So you either need to supplement it or you need to figure out how to get your NAD levels back up. So you'll hear a lot on supplements on the urolithin A, again, how they work in the mitochondria, how NR, what that does, it's a precursor to, so NR turns to NMN, which turns to NAD. So they're all just kind of precursors of each other. And they're all working in the cell. They're all helping the cell work more efficiently. And that's going to, in turn, help you with cognitive boost. It's going to help you with energy production. When your cells are working like they should, you're going to feel a lot better.
Yeah, and those are primarily going to be marketed as longevity type.
Anti-aging longevity.
Yeah. Another one in there that's getting talked about a lot is CoQ10.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of studies on that. When that first came out, it was in energy drinks. It was in a lot of energy drinks. I'm still doing a lot of different studies on that to see if that's one we want to bring. It's got a lot of promising studies. I don't fully understand the mechanism of action of it now fully, but I'm looking more into that one to see if it's something we can bring on board and exactly how it works, if it's a legitimate product or not. Yeah. But the studies are showing that it's pretty promising.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, these are a couple that I'm also looking into as well, just to see like, hey, some of it's I think anecdotal because they just don't have a lot of studies on them. Yeah. So it's just okay if you feel better on it, if you feel like you notice a difference, and that's how it is for me sometimes with supplements. Where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'll take it for a month and see if it does what I think it's supposed to do, and if I think it's coming from a good source, and you just kind of got to try them out a little bit. But for you personally, I'd love to know a little bit. Like you're a fit guy, and before we actually met, I'm pretty sure I saw you at the gym, just like throwing weights around. But what is your personal routine? I mean, what, as far as supplementation, exercise routine, I'd love to learn a little bit about that too. Like, What are you doing? What works for you?
I'm a big fan of exercising. And I've heard you talk about it before. Exercising is not it's not a burden to me. I love getting up early and I love getting to the gym. It's just part of my day. I love doing it. So that's not a problem for me. So, and I've been that way for a long time. So, I mean, my morning routine, I'm up about 4:30. I read for about 30 minutes. My gym is exactly 1 mile from my house. So I walk to the gym, I get my 45-minute workout in, and I run back. So before 7 a.m., I have my workout routine done, a good workout going. But when it comes to supplements, I like to try supplements. I'm sure you do too. I like to try different supplements and new ones coming out. As you mentioned, there's always new ones coming out. So it's good to learn on these. In fact, there's a website that I use. It's called examine.com. And basically every Monday it sends out an email about the new upcoming studies on these supplements. And I like to read through it and see, learn, what's coming out, what's popular, what's not. But my supplement stack, right now, it changes a lot. But right now I'm big on electrolytes. I need a lot of electrolytes. I sweat a lot. So whether that's from the sauna or just working out or running, I'm a sweater. So I have to make sure I have my electrolytes or I'll cramp up. I cramp up real quick. So I have to make sure I have electrolytes in the morning. I have them again in the afternoon. So I'm a big fan of those. What else? Proteins. I love my proteins. I try to get them from foods. I try to get my full amount of protein from food. That can be difficult. When you're trying to hit 180 grams, 200 grams of protein a day, it's tough to do. So I always supplement with a shake after my workout, if I need one throughout the day. I love the clear proteins that you talked about. What else am I taking? Vitamin D too. So vitamin D, vitamin K, we talked about those a little bit. And that's what I want to bring up too. So the synergistic effect of vitamin D, vitamin K, and magnesium, that's huge. So just a little bit about it. Vitamin D will absorb calcium in the gut. Vitamin K will take that calcium and put it in the bones or in your teeth. Okay. And that's much better. If you don't have vitamin K, it can go to your arteries and that can cause problems. So make sure if you're going to supplement with vitamin D that you're pairing with vitamin K as well. So it goes to the right place. And then magnesium activates vitamin D. So those three is the perfect group together for supplements. So I make sure I take those three together, those three supplements.
Is there a type of magnesium that you take with it?
I take a bisglycinate magnesium. It's just simple. You don't take those together. You just have to take them. You should be taking them the same day.
Right.
But I take the magnesium bisglycinate before bed. Normally helps sleep.
Got it.
Magnesium's cool. Just the different forms of magnesium do different things in the body. It's just so cool how that works. So yeah, if you take a magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate, all that means is magnesium is bound to a glycine amino acid, again, another amino acid. And then magnesium bisglycinate is bound to two amino acids, two glycine amino acids. So that's pretty much my stack. Electrolytes, vitamin D, vitamin K, magnesium. I love, especially since I started the supplement line, I love dabbling in different sleep supplements to figure out what actually works and what works for me, what helps me to deep sleep. And that's fun to track, especially like with an Oura ring. It's fun to track and see how deep you're sleeping, if you're getting better sleep on this or, so right now I'm kind of dabbling in different supplements to try to improve my sleep and see what helps and what doesn't help with sleep. But yeah, my supplement stack's been pretty straightforward going for creatine. I forgot creatine. Of course I take creatine. I love creatine. I've been taking that for years now. I take 5 to 10 grams of creatine every day. I haven't actually gotten to the creatine HCl yet, so I do want to give that a try and see how it is. I've been a big fan of creatine monohydrate, but I think I might switch over and see how I feel on the HCl and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I was mentioned to you, like I can eat just about anything, but I don't know what it is about creatine monohydrate. It just makes my stomach super bloated and gassy and like uncomfortable, like the uncomfortable kind where it's like you get a bubble in there and it's painful.
Yeah.
So I can't do it for some reason. It's like the only supplement I struggle with. So I switched over to the HCl, and it's meant to. You don't have to have it in as high of a dose. You don't have to load it, and supposedly it absorbs a little bit better, and it doesn't have the same kind of puffy water filled look that monohydrate could have, is what I've understood. So, but for me, it's pretty much the only one I can take. So that's what I take, even though it's not as studied as.
I've read it's much more water soluble. The studies are emerging on it. But yeah, when it comes to, we're working on getting a creatine monohydrate line out. And when it comes to creatine monohydrate, there's a lot of it comes down to the mesh size, the particle size of the creatine. The larger the number, the smaller the particle. So most creatines are going to be like a 200 mesh. And what that means is if you mix it in normal water, you're going to see it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be gritty. And that can cause a problem, like you mentioned, because it can settle in your stomach and cause that bloating. So you want to find, we're trying to find a very high quality creatine, like a 500 mesh creatine or maybe a 600 mesh creatine, where it dissolves in water and it doesn't give you that bloated feeling. Yeah. So I find that, and that's huge, especially for females. They hate feeling that bloated feeling after they take creatine. But that's what we're working on, is a very high mesh creatine. So hopefully we don't get that bloat, and it can be much more tolerated for people.
So how about real quick, your nutrition? So you mentioned 180 to 200 grams. You count macros?
I don't count macros. I try to eat single ingredient foods, if that when I'm dialed in. Okay. I eat out, I travel a little bit with Strive. And so we eat out, and when I'm traveling, I enjoy eating out, but when I'm home and when I'm dialed in, I try to eat single ingredient foods, meaning a vegetable, some kind of fruit, and some kind of smaller carb. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to necessarily track, but I'm conscious of what I'm eating. Mm-hmm. I try to stay away from fast foods the best I can. I do pretty good at that. But when I'm at home and I'm making my own meals and my own lunches, I'm pretty good at doing kind of single ingredient whole food meals.
And I know there's a lot of different varying thoughts around how much protein you should get. I know that, you talk about macros, not everyone counts and not everyone needs to. If you're just maintaining and you generally know what you should get, like how much you eat every day, and you still can run your 2 miles in the morning and work out, you're probably, you're fine. But how much protein should most people get in a day if they're trying to just maintain they don't want to lose any muscle, they're trying to maintain, they're exercising, they're doing everything, but they're trying to just, not lose muscle. How much protein?
A good idea is 0.5 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. So
of healthy body weight,
healthy
right?
Body weight. Yes. Yeah. So that's a simple. Yeah. So if you're way overweight and you're trying to get in 300 grams of protein, good
that's
luck.
why I threw that in there.
Yes.
It's kind of like your desired,
your ideal body weight. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good baseline for most people.
Yeah.
Start
cool.
with.
Well, very good, man. Is there anything else supplement wise or anything you want to share or you think would be interesting for people? Any other up and coming supplements or things that people should be on the lookout for? Essential things that everyone should be taking every day?
If I was to recommend one essential supplement for everyone, it'd go back to that vitamin D, vitamin K, magnesium combo. That's I think that's the best combo you can do. I'd also tie in creatine. I love creatine. I'd throw creatine in there as well. But it's going to come down to your deficiencies. Figure out what you're deficient in. Figure out what the root cause is, and then supplement with that. Yeah. And again, fix the problem first. Fix your hormones first. Optimize your hormones first, and then figure out if you're still feeling tired, if you still have some kind of deficiency. You can test for any kind of deficiencies. But like I said, no amount of B12, no amount of caffeine is going to outwork optimal testosterone levels or optimal sleep levels or whatever the case may be. So figure out what your root cause is, fix that first, and then get into the supplement side of things.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, one last question for you. Okay, so whether it's you work in a cool industry,
I do.
Company has a lot of medical clinics that it works with, so a lot of providers and doctors that are helping lots of people. You get to work directly with a lot of patients that come to you to get their prescription medications and supplements and other things. You have a family, so as you think through all the things that you're working on, my question is, what does the concept of building generational health mean to you?
Building generational health. Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I'm in a very lucky position with where I'm at with Strive. I feel like a lot of people, it's work-life balance is huge, right? Because if you're working 8 hours a day of a 12-hour day, that's the majority of your day. So if you're trying to balance your family, your work, stress levels can be high. I think my position at Strive, where I can be home I can go to a recital if I need to go to a recital. I can go to a dance class, or I can go to whatever I need to go to. But I think for generational health, that's a big difference, I think, with my generation, is that we can be a lot more present nowadays than how it used to be. And so it's more about being present. I think I want to be home and I want to be able to play with my kids and not just be tired. You know what I mean? So it's going to come down. So, and I keep bringing up optimized testosterone levels, but that's what it is. If your testosterone levels are optimized, you'll have the energy to go throughout your day, to work hard, to come home and be present with your family. And I think that makes the biggest difference for me and for my daughters as well, is that I can go home, I can play with them, I could wrestle with them, I could go outside and go on walks. And I have the energy to do that because I've fixed the root cause. I fixed the problems that I've had. I've got my levels where I need to get them. I have, I'm eating right, I'm sleeping right. And so it's going to spill over to my whole family, to all areas of my life.
I love that. And your kids are watching, right? People are watching,
yeah.
And they learn from us and they see what you're doing. And, hopefully that influence ripples to them and to future generations. So very good. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate talking to you. We'll have to do this again. I love talking through stuff whenever I talk to pharmacists or other industry, just people that are just super smart. I always have tons of questions, and you guys are doing tons of just awesome stuff at Strive. I love being associated with you guys and working around you and learning from you all. Strive has a lot of really great webinars too. I wanted to bring up. So whether it's supplementation or even some of the new medications that are coming out that are more peptides. I mean, I don't even want to call it peptide medication. It's not really a drug. It's a peptide. It's a short chain amino acid. So, look up strivepharmacy.com. There's some great webinars out there, opportunities to learn about all the different types of therapeutic things you can do, anti-aging, longevity, and then treatments to fix and balance hormones, men's, women's, and all sorts of other things. But outside of that, any other place we should point people to get more information on you guys?
No, I mean, we have a number of different providers in our network, so you can find one of those providers. But yeah, that's our big push right now for this year is education on those providers. So we want to give them the materials that they need. Just like I mentioned in pharmacy school, we don't go over peptides, we don't go over hormones. Same thing with doctors a lot of times. And so we want to be on the forefront of education of peptides and of hormones here at Strive Pharmacy. So find a provider that's in our network and they can use us as a tool. They can have a clinical pharmacist like myself to help educate them on the different products that we have, and they can pass the education on to their patients.
Cool, man. You're crushing it. Keep it up.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I love this, man. I thank you for the invite. I'd love to do it again too.
Okay, man. We'll do it.